pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Our last meeting before the holiday season, and Christmas comes first this year. I think Hanukkah is later, right? Is anyone? Well, I'm told Hanukkah's a little bit later. I believe on the 24th. So
Kwanzaa on the 26th.
I was looking for input, but I think I was right. Christmas is first, right? Okay. I at least was semi-aware. And we are back from exec session. We're in public session now, and we did the pledge. And modification to the agenda, I believe there's an item.
Yeah, there's one item to add. I guess we would add it to school district business. What number would that be?
Item number 4.
4, all right. And that's a motion having to do with a public hearing. We can discuss that, I suppose, at when we get to.
Sean's going to speak to that
When
later.
we get to number 4 on school district business, so we'll add that. Hearing, public hearing regarding internet safety policy.
Very good. And we'll hear about it in a few minutes. And public comment period, correct? We do have a few folks signed up and a few students signed up.
We do. First name on the list is Todd Crawford.
So my name is Todd Crawford. I've been teaching at Boynton for over 20 years, and for the last 4 weeks we've been working on a very important case study. And I have 2 students here to read a couple of letters to make a very special request from the school board for something that they'd like to see changed. This is Alice.
My name is Alice Burke, and I'm a 6th grader at Boynton Middle School. I wrote this letter to request that Columbus Day on our school calendar be officially changed to Indigenous Peoples Day to honor the roots of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy and Cayuga Nation here in Tompkins County, and to eliminate prejudice and discrimination against the Indigenous people. According to Howard Zinn in A Young People's History of the United States, Columbus and his men ordered everyone over the age of 13 to collect gold for them. Indians who did not give gold to the Spaniards had their hands cut off and bled to death. More died by the thousands through murder, suicide, being overworked, and being mistreated. Soon, there were no Arawak Indians left. Columbus had caused the genocide of the entire tribe of roughly 25,000 natives. Also, the Tompkins County Proclamation issued this on October 3rd this year by Michael Lane, who is chair of the Tompkins County Legislature, states that they encourage other public institutions, businesses, and organizations to recognize the day as Indigenous Peoples Day. Although Columbus was a great seaman and explorer, he wasn't the first to discover the Americas. There were many before him, including Vikings and, more importantly, Native Americans. For these reasons, I hope you see why Columbus Day should be officially changed on our school calendar to Indigenous Peoples Day to honor the first people who set forth in our lands.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you.
Dear members of the ICSD board, my name is Jakai Carrero, and I'm a 6th grader at Boynton Middle School. I'm writing you to request that Columbus Day and our school calendar be officially changed to Indigenous Peoples Day. I don't like Columbus. They should not have Columbus Day. According to Howard Zinn in a Young People's History, the Spaniards hunted them native people down with dogs and killed them. I would like to see Columbus Day switched to Indigenous Peoples Day because I agree with Michael Lane, chair of the Tompkins Legislature, where he declares the second Monday in October 2016 as Indigenous Peoples Day in Tompkins County, Chicago, and from Boynton Middle School.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Here are 70 notes, 70 letters for youth to themselves.
Fantastic.
Very good, thank you, and the board clerk will take the letters and we'll be able to see them all. Thank you, Jennifer. Anyone else wish to speak right now? If not, we'll keep moving. Thank you, and student reps.
All right, well, in rather somber news, several of our students were admitted into the Federal Department of Corrections, which is rather disheartening, but not as dishearteningly was just our annual government field trip to the prison system, where they get a chance to learn about life in the prison, get a chance to talk to the inmates, talk to the guards. A very good experience. I think a lot of students enjoyed it this year. We also had, going back about 10 or 11 days, the craft fair. 2 Fridays ago. There was lots of beautiful, bountiful food, lots of lovely crafts from local artists. There was free cider. On sale was mint tea for the Morocco Exchange Club. African Latino Club had some delicious empanadas, and some Korean noodles. There was a wide variety of excellent food, and I personally saw lots of students coming in enjoying the atmosphere, food, crafts. I thought it was very good. And then we also had our one acts prepared by students diligently over the past couple of weeks. All director coordinated, which is always very impressive in the Black Box Theater. And they were Friday and Saturday on the 9th and 10th, and they were very good. So we'd like to congratulate our students on that.
Conversations with the scientists started today with the first talk by Dr. Chappie about studying chemistry and biology, specifically with X-ray spectroscopy. And those are going to be continuing to be held throughout the year and are run by our science department. And in other news, the Ithaca Speech and Debate team won first place in impromptu speaking and second place in public forum debate at their last tournament, which qualifies them for states.
Okay. I talked about some of the music department events last meeting, but I just wanted to remind the board that there's an orchestra concert tomorrow night at 7:30. So if you're able to attend, it's always a great time. And also, Link Crew has been holding their food drive for the past couple of weeks, and it's been quite a success. And as always, the family liaison, Ms. Bergman, who's also our advisor for the board rounds, she collects cash donations from the staff, puts it together with donated bags from White Mints and the canned food that we've collected, and she creates holiday food baskets for local families in need. And this year we've been able to put together 18 such baskets, and we're going to deliver those over the next week. And any food that's left over will be donated to various agencies in town, including Rescue Mission, Loaves and Fishes, and this is a great sort of outreach project that we always do, and we're proud of the holiday spirit that this has been able to produce. And
yeah. So in winter sports, we've had a number of successes recently. Both girls and boys basketball took on Elmira and came off with a staggering lead. Boys swimming won 5 events at the Shen Invite this past weekend and placed 3rd overall. Hockey won against Whitesboro yesterday and lost against Clinton. And the girls soccer, although they're not a winter sport, were just recognized for the 4th consecutive year as a New York State Scholar Athlete Team Award. So congratulations to them, and I can say that we're all looking forward to the winter holidays as we count down this week.
Outstanding. Thanks, Ithaca High. LECS.
All right, so on Friday we will be having our annual solstice lunch, where the school comes together in our family groups and we go over in reflection and also as a group eat a meal together. It's a great experience, and we make a little fire and occasionally throw in old homework. I'm corrected, frequently throwing that.
This last Thursday, our Celtic band had a performance during our committee time. where there's a Celtic band class that focuses on Celtic music, as well as a project. So the class did several songs that were very impressive, lots of beautiful music, with students playing instruments and singing and dancing at times, and then they were joined by the project group for another 2 numbers. It was a wonderful time, the theater was packed, yeah.
Absolutely. On top of this, currently, as we're... No? Okay. Don't talk about that?
No, just don't.
Do you have anything more?
You don't have to burn it or anything, just go ahead.
Oh, what Pierre's trying to say is that the character decisions for the upcoming Middle East debates, which are actually not that upcoming, they're like in March, but students get very excited. They're really fun.
They're really
it's kind of like a rite of passage at ACS. The Facing History class has been doing an in-depth study for the last few months, and they're very excited to be getting their character assignments before break, so Pierre and I are working on them right now because we're both the TAs for the class, and it's very stressful, but they're very excited.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's...
Everyone just wants to go on break, honestly.
Yeah.
That's about
We
it.
will let you finish, and we'll eventually the minutes will go by, and Friday will come, right? And but thank you, Alex. Yes. Board responses.
I'm glad folks stayed, so thank you very much, Alice and Jakai. That was amazing to come up and to read such well-written letters and to make such clear arguments. It's something that I'm sure the board will consider because some people are asking us to make this conversation. I'm not sure what we'll do as a board, but no doubt that your time here means a lot to us. So thank you very much. I want to make sure you heard that from us. That's fantastic. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's something that I've been thinking about and assuming that at some point we would talk about it as a board, because I know other school districts are doing the same. But it was really great to hear a proposal from students and eloquently delivered. So thank you very much, because you've definitely put it on our agenda.
We listen to students a lot more than adults. So no, I'm serious. So it's really... Other comments? Brad, go ahead.
Last Thursday night, Project Lead the Way had their pitch night for part of their class for a competition, and Dr. Brown got to be one of the judges, and Mr. Harris and I were both there to observe it, and it was great for 4 teams, 4 different business ideas. It's a great project. And I also had the pleasure with Dr. Brown to take a tour of some classrooms at at Boynton over the last week, and enjoyed that, and hope to get into another building or 2 soon.
So we did have a brief question,
Sure.
question for the board, and that is, at a local student, or recent student council meeting, there was a question about the state of the water at IHS. And so many of the students were wondering what that status was, and if you had any updated information in regards to that recently.
So the governor has given us new regulations that we have to test all of the buildings. Normally, a municipal building doesn't have to be tested. So we have tested all of our buildings throughout the district. It had to be done by October 31st. But because every district in this area has had to do it, our results are moving in very, very slowly. So we still have 6 of our buildings that we don't have the results of the water testing. We're waiting for that to come in, and we put the results up on the website as soon as they come in, and then we send an email out to our community in that school to say that the results are there. We're working with our engineering firm, La Bella Engineering. We're going to be working for our next steps and what we're going to do when we get those results and how we're going to supply water for our community. And reminder to the community that we will continue to supply certified water like we're doing right now until we have a design for our next steps.
Great. Do you know, I'm sorry, are the results for IHS, the high school, in yet? No?
They are not.
Okay.
The most recent was LACS. Those are not up on the website because as soon as we get the results, we have to give those to the county health department. They will confirm those results, and then we send them to the community.
Great, thank you.
Very good, thank you. Anything else? Look forward to orchestra tomorrow night. I did have to pull in a favor to get tickets to the Boynton musical on last Friday night. It was sold out, but great musical, great effort by 100 Boynton students to put on Once Upon a Mattress, and great show. I sat in the back. I mean, it was basically standing room, but that's typical, and it's a great job by Boynton once again. And Always fun. And I was asked, do you have kids here? I said, well, no, I don't have kids, but yeah, but it's great. It's great to see.
They're all
And
your kids, Rob.
They're all
that's what it said. I'm responsible for
Bye-bye.
everybody apparently. But thank you for coming tonight, and we will, echoing others, we'll discuss going forward. And are we good? And I think we can move on to consent agenda. Now you can slip
I'll
out.
move the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Second by Maura. Questions? Do you need to speak to anything? Nothing? Are we good? If not, then move seconded, all in favor as I try to find the next item. That's everyone. And we are 8 tonight. And the next item is Dr. Brown. It's highlighted too, Dr. Brown. Do you see that?
The sticky's back.
You know, the sticky's back and it is highlighted for those who are watching from home.
Thank you, Mr. Ainsley, for this opportunity. Just a couple of plugs for the things that are happening in our building now and this week. Thank you for taking me up on my offer to tour our classroom spaces that you're seeing, the engaging learning that's happening in our spaces. Thank you, Mr. Granger. Thank you, Mr. LaFave, for being with me today. As we're seeing everything from young people using their creativity skills and thinking and math skills to build gingerbread houses to pitch nights in the evening. So it's been a fun couple of weeks up until our winter break of teaching and learning. I wish for everyone to take an opportunity to go out to Enfield Elementary on Friday morning, 8:30. It is one of the best community events I've ever had a chance to go to. I go every year. The food is great, but the people are better. So if you have time on your calendars, I would invite you, and let me know if you go. I'll stay there with you and eat a few times. But 8:30 on Friday morning is an event that you won't want to miss as we head into a week-long break. But again, the open invitation to tour our classroom spaces, our learning spaces, and some amazing things are happening. As we are here tonight, there's a Night at the Museum event happening at Boynton Middle School, and we had a chance to watch the dress rehearsal this week, and it was simply outstanding. So again, and Samantha, you should have seen Samantha dress up last week as she was serving her young people. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. But again, every one of our schools is, I think, there are great things happening in this business. Just wanted to plug that tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Brown.
Yeah.
And how long tonight does the Night at the Museum go?
6 to 8.
6 to 8. Yeah, I think
It's
it
gonna be
started
tough.
at 6:30
Tough,
to 8.
all right.
Yeah.
Depends on how fast, well, yeah.
Then I believe there's a home basketball game tomorrow night too.
Right. There's no basketball tonight,
No,
as far as I can
but
tell.
tomorrow before orchestra.
And it'll probably be the women since the boys are down at
Yeah, the
Vestal
ladies,
tonight.
and
All right.
both teams are doing very well.
Anyway, on to other school district business. I'm seeing a 504 grievance appeal.
I'll move the motion to uphold the superintendent's grievance decision.
That can happen.
Second by Pat. You can see the language is there. Correct.
I have it in the bottom, I'll copy and paste it in,
Okay.
if you want to read it.
Well, we can see it. Feel free to read it. Are we good? Reading? Yep. We're all good? All in favor? That is everyone, right? On to number 2, Sean. Is that a policy?
Policy, it is a policy.
That's a policy.
So I'm gonna move policy 6830-R expense reimbursement regulation for a first reading.
Second.
Second by Pat. Go
This
ahead.
policy has been in existence. There is a single word change that we're doing to try to make things much more comfortable in some regards for our staff who travel, and that is simply, if you look where it says meals, the reimbursements, it should be the very first bullet point. Instead of saying maximum per meal reimbursement, it says maximum per diem reimbursement. We're simply changing from a per meal reimbursement to a per diem reimbursement. That's the only change for the policy. It was getting a little too cumbersome to try to check receipts about what time someone bought a muffin. I don't think we need to go to that level of detail as a district. We can let people buy some a muffin at noon and be okay with whatever it is, right?
I have cereal at night.
Well, there you go. That would not have been classified according to USGA. So.
And one word change fixes the policy.
It does.
That's
I'm sure we'll hear from it. We'll hear from some other people, but we'll.
That's pretty efficient, Sean.
Yeah, just to be clear, people who are traveling will still be submitting receipts and will not be reimbursed in excess of what they have actually spent on meals.
Right.
So we're not giving people a per diem, but we're saying that what people actually spent doesn't have to match up with the allotted times for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which was apparently extremely cumbersome on an administrative level for very small amounts of money.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Pat.
Appreciate that. First reading?
Yep.
Move seconded for the first reading. All in favor? That's everyone. What's next?
Public hearing, is that next? Nope. Which number 3?
Capital
Oh,
conference.
that's right. Should I just keep going? I move the motion to approve attendance at the NISBA Capital Conference on February 12th and 13th for 3 board members stated here.
Second. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
All right, second.
Are you on there? Do you want to go? Do you want to be added into that?
I will not be able to commit to traveling in February just because I've got this pesky day job.
Yeah. Sometimes, Brad, sometimes.
Work is a burden. So we just have to approve this, correct? Not a lot of discussion. We do have folks that are doing advocacy, and that is what this is an opportunity to do. So all in favor? I assume that's everyone. That is everyone by raising of hands.
Have a great trip, folks.
Number 4.
Albany in February.
Yeah,
It's lovely that time of year.
Albany in February, yeah.
So this motion, number 4, is the added motion. This is in regards to a policy. You'll be getting, the board will be getting a series of, I think, 6 policies and 1 regulation in about a week and a half or 2 weeks. We're working with Zach Lynn, the Chief Information Officer, to rewrite those policies, particularly around sort of student, I think we're using the phrase digital device usage, right? Is the way in which we're changing some of the language. What we're realizing, part of New York State's regulations mandates that we have a public hearing whenever we change the internet safety policy, that we're mandated to have a public hearing to solicit input. And so the motion on here gives us the opportunity to hold that hearing on January 24th, 5:30, before our expected notion of going into exec session. So we'll talk about the policy on January 17th, with the hearing happening on the 24th, and then have another work at the policy meeting just to stay within state regulations, so you see what the policy is here. And I can forward that policy in its draft form to all, I mean, it's currently on Dropbox or board docs now, but I can send it along for other folks, or I can have Jennifer post it for the public just to get our feedback now. That's the part we're just trying to solicit feedback. So that's what the motion says. The motion gives us the opportunity to publicly announce the fact that we're holding a hearing around this policy.
Right, and the policy committee is meeting on the 17th at 5 o'clock.
That is
right?
correct.
That is, it's not a regular board meeting. It is when we, on those off Tuesdays, that committees meet.
That's correct.
So just to be clear for everybody that are listening. And we need to.
I'll move the motion to advertise the public hearing on January 24th. Whatever rough that was.
Second by Pat.
The motion, you meant the motion as presented in the agenda.
I want to borrow Brad's language and do that, yes.
Jennifer, are we good? Is this what you need?
I'll digitally put it in there, but right now I'm handwriting. I can keep track of it.
Digitally enhanced. We appreciate that. Our board meetings being digitally correct. So good. I mean, thank you, Brad, for your friendly amendment, and I think we're good. And all in favor? It's everyone. And so what else do we have to talk about? Dr. Brown. we've all come together here tonight. Is there anything else we need to deal
I
with?
think we've covered a lot of business here this evening. Sir?
So we do, Dr. Brown, we do appreciate, we got a gift, how successful people lead. That'll be helpful to me since I'm neither anything of this, so it's all good.
Pay special attention to the pinnacle leadership. I think that's where our board and our team is at this point, at pinnacle level.
Very good, Dr. Brown. I did want to point out that for old football players, it's a really thin book, so we can, it's not real thick. So we can, it won't take me too long to read, hopefully.
Yeah.
But we do have holidays coming up, and is there any, we don't need to stay here longer than we need to, so because there's Jennifer.
I just want to point out that the policy meeting that was originally scheduled for January 3rd is not happening on the schedule.
I'll be in the Caribbean someplace smiling at people.
Okay. I'll be at work, because that's what I do, but it's all good.
Pesky day job, right?
That will be my first day of my new pesky day job, January 3rd, yes.
I'm retiring no more. I'm retiring.
Yes.
Are we good? Anything else?
That's great.
Without further ado, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have great holidays. Thank you, everybody.
So where are you going in the Caribbean?
Try to spend a day or something.